Good morning. Welcome to the first day of third grade. I am so excited. It is 6:35 in the morning. School starts in an hour, 7:30. And I'm here super early today because I still have a bunch of stuff to do because after back to school night, I was so hungry that I just left. So I have a couple things to do this morning. I figured that for the first 3 days of school, I would do this vlog and show you what we're doing at each little part of the day. I'm not going to show you guys the actual students because I don't have media releases for them for YouTube, but I will show you all the activities that we're doing. So students will not be in the vlog, but I will show you every activity and every little thing that I'm doing. And so I wanted to say welcome first, and then I'm going to be picking up the camera throughout the day because I'm not exactly sure everything that we're going to get to. I have like a laundry list of things to do as far as procedures to check off, and then little activities for us to do, team building stuff, STEM activities, all different kinds of stuff. So I will be showing you guys that periodically. So I think that this is not going to be just a first day of school vlog, but this is going to be like the first 3 days of school. So today's Wednesday. We have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as our first week. And I'm just so excited. I got to meet my students last night at back to school night. They are amazing. They're so sweet. Some of them were so nervous, which I was like, it's okay, I'm nervous too, and we're gonna have so much fun. And their families are amazing. So I'm really, really excited about this school year, and I can't wait to get started. So something that is really important to me is my students knowing that in our class, we are family. So that's what my shirt says. This shirt is from the cutesy class. And I actually have a coupon code for you guys I will leave down below. I believe it's Hello15, but I will double check that and put it down in the description box for you. And then my earrings are from Wells Cooperative. They are a fair trade company. So I love getting to purchase things from them because I know that it is going to a good cause, and they're super lightweight. They look like they'd be heavy, but they're seriously like a feather. And then I have black pants on and blue shoes. I usually wear a dress on the first day of school, but once I saw Brittany from the cutesy class post this shirt for sale, I was like, I need that. It's perfect because from the very first day I want them to know that we're a family, and I want to start building that classroom community even with the things I wear. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing a lot of things for building classroom community up and just have a really fun day. So I'm going to put you guys down. I'm going to get a couple things done, and then I'll show you what we're going to do first thing in the morning. Okay, so I'm just about ready for the first part of the morning. So I'm going to show you guys what they're going to do when they first walk in, a couple of the procedural things we're going to do, a STEM activity, and then a kind of get to know you thing. So we'll start with that. I'll flip you around and I'm going to show you what we're doing first. Okay, so when the students walk in, I will greet them at the door and tell them to go sit somewhere where there is a paper and a pencil. This is just like a very low stress, easy, kind of silly thing. It says take a guess, and it's questions all about me. So they're guessing things about me. And then after they finish, I will tell them a little bit about myself by giving them the answers to these. I like doing this because it's something really easy for them to do. They don't have to think about it very hard. It's kind of silly, and then it kind of gives me a chance to talk to parents a little bit that are coming in, or any last minute things that happen that I kind of have to have them be doing something. I don't want them to just sit and be waiting for me to tell them what to do. So this is really easy. The questions are: is your teacher married? How old is your teacher? What are your teacher's favorite hobbies? What is your teacher's favorite color? Favorite lucky number? Favorite food? How many sisters and brothers does she have? Where was she born? What kind of pet do they have? And then on the other side, write something else you think you know about your teacher. So it's kind of funny, the things that they write, and it's just like a really cute little way to get to know me a little better before we start talking about them. So I have one set out at all of the different little flexible seating options that I want them to be able to sit at. And then wherever they choose is going to be their spot for the day. So you can see they have this little piece of tape here, so I will pass around a Sharpie, or I don't know, it's kind of small, so I might write it on here for them. And then at the end of the day, they'll just pick the tape off, They'll come stand over here along this stage, and then I'll just call a few over at a time. They can pick their next spot, they'll put their tape down on it, and then that will be their spot for tomorrow. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna be doing is like a little team building kind of STEM challenge activity. I don't like to jump right into icebreakers, and I don't like to make the kids do icebreakers in front of everyone right off the bat, because I remember being a student and hating those. Like, even in college, even as a teacher, having to introduce myself in front of all the rest of my staff here at the school I'm at my first year is so nerve-wracking. And I remember just being like anxious and my heart pounding and feeling like I didn't know what to say, and so I don't want to do that to my students because I know how it feels. So the next thing we're going to be doing is this marshmallow challenge. This is a freebie off of TPT. So it tells you all the materials you'll need: 26 of spaghetti, a yard of tape, a yard of string, a large marshmallow, scissors, and a yardstick. So I don't have yardsticks for everyone, so I'm just gonna skip that last one, and I totally eyeballed the string, but I have their little plates set up, and you can see I grossly overestimated how much materials I was gonna need, but that's okay. So this is what each student, or not each student, each group is gonna get. So I made one plate for each little section in my room, and then I'll just partner them off so they can work together. And their challenge is to build the tallest freestanding structure using only these materials. So whichever one is the tallest and can stand up without anyone touching it wins. So this is a really fun little kind of get to know each other game, because as they're working on it, they can work together, they can talk, they're gonna chat about their summer, and I think it's just a really fun way to start the year. Okay, next I have this beach ball. I think I got this from the Dollar Tree. I've had this for like 3 years, and I just wrote random questions on it. Tell us something fun you did this summer. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you like to do for fun? What did you do this summer? What are you most looking forward to about 3rd grade? What's your favorite sport? Do you have any siblings? What's your favorite book? What do you like to do after school? What's your favorite part of school? My favorite song is, what have you done that you're proud of? What is your favorite movie? What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? I think that's it. Yeah. So I like to sit in a big circle, and then we'll just toss around the beach ball. And again, I don't like to force them to do icebreakers, so if they want to pass, that's fine. We're going to have a chance to kind of get to know them better in a small group setting, but this is just kind of a fun, silly thing. They like tossing around the ball. And then right after that too, while they're still in a circle, I like to play a little name game. So the name game we play, we all sit in a big circle, and then I start with one person, I ask them their name, and then I repeat it, and then the second person says their name, and then I have to say their name and the person next to them, and then the third person says their name, and I have to say the third person, the second person, and the first person, all the way around in a circle. And it's kind of funny because obviously I'm gonna mess up on some of them, or I'm gonna forget, or we're gonna have to start over, and it's kind of funny. And then some of the kids are like, I wanna try, and so they try, and it's really good for me to get to know their names, but also for them to get to know each other's names. And I usually have little name tags for them, and I started writing on them on just like the colorful labels that I put on their homework folders, and I got down to the last 4 kids and I don't have enough. So I guess I'm not gonna have name tags for them. I'm gonna try to go to the office right now and see if they have any extra labels so I can just make some real quick for those last 4 kids. But if not, that's okay. I really want them to get to know each other just as much as I want to get to know them, and so I feel like doing some of these little games and name games and get to know you games and challenges are a really good way for them to get to know each other in a really low stress, easy way. Okay, so by this point in the day, they've had a chance to kind of get to know each other, ease into the day a little bit, do some fun stuff, get to know their classmates a little bit, get to know me a little bit, have some fun, and they've also been sitting on the flexible seating for quite a bit. So I would like to go over the flexible seating rules with them at this time so that they know what the expectations are, and so we can talk a little bit about why we have flexible seating and how to make a good choice for themselves so that they can learn best. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go over the rules. I want them to understand why we have flexible seating and how to use it appropriately so that they can make the best choice for themselves. So I just have this up on a slide. I will have them come sit down in front of the TV and we will go over the rules. So then after that, I will take them around the room and show them the different options that we have. Right now, they're probably a little bit familiar with it because they've been to back to school night, so they've seen what we have, and then they've also been in the classroom for probably at this time about an hour, hour and a half. So they've seen the options, but they're probably going to want to try them out. So I take them around, I show them the different things, and then I explain specific rules for specific items. For example, the yoga balls and the wobble stools are 2 things that kids oftentimes misuse. So we talk about with the yoga balls, you need to have both feet on the floor, you need to have your bottom in the center so that you're not leaning too far back. You need to make gentle bounces, and that it's okay to move. That's the purpose. You can bounce around a little bit, but that it should be helping you focus. And if it's a distraction, then it's not a tool. We're using it as a toy, and then we can't sit there. Same thing with the wobble stool. You can wobble back and forth, but your feet need to be on the ground, your bottom needs to be in the center, and you need to not be rocking so hard that you can't focus and do your work. So, and then talking about expectations as far as like putting things back, and then showing them the things. I have to move all that stuff off the stage, but showing them like all the pillows and the kneeling pads and the lap desk and things that they can use on different parts of the room that maybe they haven't seen yet because they've been put away. So that's what I like to do next. And then that will probably take us to recess. But just in case, I'm going to show you one more thing that we're doing. So you may have seen me talk about this on my coming back from Christmas break vlog, because these same task cards exist for coming back from break. But these task cards are from Miss Fit. They're for the first day of school. So I'm going to flip you guys around and show you what they are. So each student will get a page that looks like this. Each letter corresponds to a task card around the room. So I will take you to the first one. And they don't have to do it in any kind of order. It's just kind of whichever one they want to do, as long as they get all of them done by the end. So each of them has a question for them to answer on this sheet. So like on this one, they will answer this question in the box where there is the F. So that one says, what is your full name? Do you have any nicknames that you'd like your teacher to call you? And then I always will read these after school so I can get to know them a little better. And if they want to tell me anything, they can. I'm going to go around and show you all of them. How do you feel about your first day? Are you excited, nervous? Explain why. R says, what is your favorite subject? What is your least favorite subject? S says, look around our classroom. What is one thing you're excited about? T says, look around our classroom. What is one thing you're wondering about? Which they're probably going to have a few questions. D says, what have you heard about third grade? A says, what are your goals for this year? I forget where I put Y. Oh, it's over here. Y says, what would you like your teacher to know about you? Only does this give me a ton of information about them, but it gives them a chance to get up and moving and take kind of a break, kind of, where they're not having to like talk so much, and they can just kind of chill out for a little bit. And also this is really cool because it lets me see their handwriting and kind of where they're at as far as sentence structure and capitals and complete sentences and all that kind of good stuff. So that should definitely take us to recess, if not lunch. I also have a book that I like to read on the first day. I'm like all over the place right now trying to find where everything's at. This is such a cute book. If you have not read this yet, Thelma the Unicorn. It's all about being yourself, and I just love the tone that it sets for our classroom, that you can be whoever you are and you don't have to hide it, and it's okay. You should be proud of who you are, and we're all going to be proud of you and celebrate you in this classroom. And that's not something you have to hide or be nervous about or like feel like you can't be yourself. So I really like to do this. It's funny, it's silly, it's cute. The kids like it, and it really sends a really positive message. And I like to start reading on the first day of school. And then if we need like kind of a filler, I'm gonna do a library tour with them where I show them our library and we talk about the system for how they can pick out books. There's a ton of books in the corner that I forgot to sort, so I will have to do that later. But we'll go over that and get them excited about getting to pick out books. And that's always one of my favorite parts of the day because reading is my little baby and I want them to love reading. So introducing them to the library and getting them excited about getting to check out books is a really fun part of the first day for me. Okay, so we now only have about 15 minutes until school starts. I need to run up, use the restroom, try to get those labels for the name tags, and then just kind of breathe a little bit before the kids come in. But I'm so excited. It's gonna be the best day ever. I already love them and I can't wait to get to know them better, and I hope that they leave school today feeling like it was the best day ever for them too, and that they're really excited for the school year. So I can't wait, and I will pick you guys back up probably at lunch and show you what the last half of our day looks like. And if I missed anything from showing you from recess to lunch, I will make it up then and show you. Oh my gosh, I'm having a blast. It is recess now, but I'm so exhausted. I forgot how tiring the first day of school is. Like, I'm not used to waking up this early or having to talk this much or be so like, aha. So It's been a lot, and we haven't even had a chance to go over any of the rules. All we did so far was the take a guess about your teacher. We did the the marshmallow challenge. We played a rock, paper, scissors game. Oh, that was really fun. So what you do is you partner them up, and then they play rock, paper, scissors. The best 2 out of 3 gets to move on to the next round. The person who loses gets to be their cheerleader. So if we were playing, me and one person, then if I won, that other person that I played against would have to go behind me and cheer me on as I went to play the next person who won. And if I beat them, then them and their cheerleader have to come behind me, so that at the very end you have 2 people who are playing against each other, and both of them have like a team on either side that's cheering them on, and it's just really fun. And then it was super cute because the person who won in my class this year was like an awesome sport about it, like shook the other kid's hand, was like, you did awesome. And then the kid who lost was like smiling and didn't care, and so we gave him a little cheer, and I taught them a little chant for them to congratulate each other, which is just, it's hard to do with no hands. Let's set this down. So the cheer is just, they go whoop whoop at the person who did something awesome. And so we had a quick little conversation about losing appropriately, in that, you know, it doesn't make the game fun if we, you know, throw a fit or pout. And now that we're in 3rd grade, we're a little bit older, we're expected to be a little bit more mature, and we need to be a good sport when we lose something. So congratulate the other person, have a smile on your face, and have fun still, because it's just a game. So that led to a really awesome conversation during that time. I'm trying to think of what else we did. We did the task cards, so they got up and moved around. I forgot to tell you guys this morning that I was going to teach them a call and response. So I have a little doorbell attached to a little hand sanitizer from Bath & Body Works, and it's attached to my lanyard. So when I hit this, I have a doorbell that it's plugged into, and the kids know that they need to stop talking, fold their hands in their lap, and find me wherever I'm at in the room. So I taught them that, and then waterfall, which I say waterfall, and they put their hands up and go shh, like a waterfall. And then when they bring it to the bottom, that means that they have to stop talking and that they have to find me. So just 2 really quick, easy, like call and response things to get their attention. It's a chatty group, definitely very chatty, but they're super sweet, and we're having a blast already. So I think when they come back in, we're gonna read the Thelma the Unicorn book, and then I think that's when we'll go over the flexible seating rules, because already some of the kids on the yoga balls are definitely not using it the right way. So we'll go over the flexible seating rules, and then I think we're gonna go on a school tour. So we'll go over the expectations by location at our school, and then when we come back, I need to figure out what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put you guys down again. I'll pick you back up at lunch. I'm so tired. Okay, it's the end of the day. It is 107 degrees right now, hence the red face and the hot sweaty mess. I have like a kind of boring update for you guys, I guess. So after lunch, some of my 4th grade students, well, my class from last year who are now 4th grade students, wanted to come in and help, and so I had them teach my kids a couple call and responses. So I'm gonna put you guys down so I can show you what this one is. It's like a clappy one. Clappy, that's not a word. You know what I mean. Okay, so I found this on YouTube. I don't even know the teacher's name, but it's a teacher who does a bunch of call and responses. So the teacher would say, give me 1, and the students would go, and then she'd say, give me 2, and they'd go, and then give me 3. So you can rewatch that as many times as you need to get it, but the kids love it. And then the way that you get them to know that you're about to do that is you say hands ready. So you'd say hands ready, and they'd all like put their hands like this, like wavering above the desk, ready to do it. You say, give me 1, and then they'd start the clapping. Give me 2, give me 3. And they love it. Like I taught them at the beginning of the year, and they wanted to do it up until the very last day. And even when they came in just now from lunch and were like, can we help? And I was like, actually I want you guys to teach them the give me 1 thing. They were like, oh my gosh, yes, and like we're so excited. So we did that for like 15 minutes because it took quite a bit of time, but that's okay. It was fun, and it was something to kind of cool down from lunch. And then after that, we went over the rules for flexible seating, and then we did like a little room tour about flexible seating. So I showed them every single spot. I let a couple kids try it out. We talked about what to do, what not to do, and what did we do after that? After that, we played a name game where we all sat in a big circle. And I have one of those little like handheld microphones. So we use that, and how it works is everyone's sitting in a circle, and then I start. So I'll say my name, and then the person next to me says their name. So then I have to say my name and then their name, and then so forth. I think I already told you guys about this. But in addition to that, the kids wanted to do it, so then they started, so I'd pass the mic to them, and then they would start by saying their name, and then they would just say everyone's name. So it's not like doing the whole game again, it's just them getting to know each other's name, and it was really cute. And then if they got it all right, then we did the little whoop whoop thing for them. And I'm trying to think, at the end of the day, we moved their tapes, so they have new seats tomorrow, and I think that's it. It went by really fast. I am exhausted, but my heart is so full. I love my kids. I love them every year, no matter what. Like, I'll always love them. They're my kids. But it's just, it's so cool the first day because everyone's excited, myself included, and we're all ready for a new year and ready to have fun and learn, and it's just great. So I'm gonna put you guys down and pick you back up tomorrow because I need to plan out what I'm gonna do tomorrow, and then I need to go sleep for like 84 days. So I'll pick you guys back up tomorrow morning when I'm fresh and not sweaty, and I'll see you then. I just got home. I'm still sitting in my driveway, but I was just thinking about, I was thinking on my drive home about this one thing that I did today that I've done every single year on the first day of school. And I was kind of like getting emotional thinking about it because I think it's really powerful, even though it's something really small, easy, free, cheap, no prep. And so I wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm sure you guys have seen the Rita Pierson TED Talk, Every Child Deserves a Champion. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, you definitely need to go look it up. I think you can find it on YouTube or whatever the TED Talk website is. But it's super inspiring, moving, touching. I cry every single time I watch it. I watch it every summer, the week before school starts, to kind of get me like back in that mindset of like what you do and say matters, and kind of to like recenter my mind and heart to get ready to accept all these new little kids into my life and my heart and into the school year and all that kind of stuff. So there's one thing that she talks about in her TED Talk that really has stuck with me. And this is the one thing that I've done every year. So she talks about telling her class that they were handpicked to be with her because they're the best kids, she's the best teacher, and they got to show everyone else how it's done. And I have always done that after watching her talk about this. And so I always tell my kids on the first day, like, all right, I'm not supposed to tell you guys this, it'll be our little secret, but did you guys know that you were hand selected for this class because every single one of you is the best top third graders in our school, and I'm the best teacher, so they put us together and we got to show everyone else how it's done. So when we walk down the halls, we got to walk down with our, you know, our chin up, our chest out, our back straight. We got to put our hands down by our side. We're not, you know, touching anything or messing with anything. We're watching where we're going. We're not talking because other people are looking to us because we're the leaders of the school. And so we got to show them how it's done. When we're on the playground, we got to make sure that we're including everybody, that we're making new friends, that we're making people feel welcome, because the other people are looking to us to see, hey, how are the leaders doing it? Because I want to be like them. I want to emulate whatever they do. So if they're making friends, if they're being kind, if they're extending a hand to someone they don't know, then I should do the same because I want to be like them because they're the best. And it's so funny because every year their reactions kind of, the class as a whole has varied reactions, but every year the reactions are the same. Like, some of the kids are like, that's not true, right off the bat. And then some of them are kind of like looking at each other like, if they buy it, I buy it, but I want to make sure they're buying it too because I'm on the fence. And then some of them kind of like sit up straighter and they're like, yeah, like, I am the best and you're the best. And yeah, this is totally true. We should totally do that because we're the best. And it's just so powerful. Like, I think for the first day of school, like right off the bat, telling every single one of them that they're powerful and that they're the best and that you believe in them and that you already have so much faith and they have so much power. Like, I think that is so motivating. I really like to believe that that has a lot to do with why my classroom feels, again, like a family and like such a strong-knit community, because we work together so well. And even from the very first day, something as simple as like, hey, walking in line, this is how we need to do it because everyone's watching us because you're the best. Oh, my neighbor's outside watching me. So I'm gonna go, but I just want to share that because I think sometimes it's easy to lose sight with testing and planning and parents and admin and, you know, all this stuff that goes on that can be frustrating, that what we do and say matters so much, and that even something as simple as telling your kids that you believe in them and that you think they're amazing and that you think they're the best. Like, I think that that holds so much weight because they care so much what you think and they care what you say. And so I think that that has so much power. And I just wanted to share that because I think it's really valuable. So I'm gonna put you guys down. I'm gonna go sleep and eat, and I will catch you guys again in the morning. Good morning, welcome back. Today is now Thursday. I'm starting to put things together, so I wanted to show you guys what we have going on today. So I'm gonna turn around and do that. Okay, I have everything kind of just like set out on my table for things that I want to do today. And the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to play mini Jenga. So I need to get these set up, and I have some 4th graders coming at 7 o'clock. It's like 6:30 right now, to help me set these up on the tables. And I'm going to flip you over and show you what that is. So I just made this really quick. I just found this little wood thing on Google. I just searched Jenga wood piece. And then I just added a little circle of color on the end. So I couldn't figure out how to get it to be a whole square since it's angled, and every time I put the square it wouldn't fit as an angle, and I didn't really have time to figure it out. So each color of the piece that they pull will correlate to a question. So I'm not trauma classroom trained, but I have been seeing things on Instagram about you know, being sensitive to kids who may not have had such a great summer, and so I tried to include questions that would just steer towards like favorite things about themselves, things they're excited to learn about, movies they like, asking each other questions, like instead of like, oh, tell me the fun thing you did this summer. If it was an awful summer, that's going to be a pretty triggering question. So these are the questions I chose to use. I just made this on Google Slides, and I'm just going to project it on the TV instead of having to print anything out for them. And then as they pull out pieces, they can just take a look at what the question is. So I'm hoping they like this. The mini Jenga is pretty small, so I'm hoping their little fingers will be able to pull the pieces out, but I think it's a fun way to get to know your classmates, and I hope they really like it. I think I mentioned this yesterday, maybe the day before. I don't know, this whole week has been such a blur, but I remember being younger and really hating doing all like the icebreaker stuff in front of everyone. So I do want them to get to know each other, but I really would like them to get to know each other in small groups. So they're gonna play a game of Jenga, and then once all the pieces fall, they can switch groups and play with a different group. That way they're getting to know different people, but they don't have to do it all in front of the class and have that like nervous energy about having to talk in front of everyone. I'm gonna kind of ease them into that. So that is why we didn't play any kind of like get to know you game in front of the whole class where like everyone has to say things about themselves, because I don't like that even as an adult. So I don't want to force kids to do stuff that I don't even like. So and then I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna turn you around again. And then I'm gonna read them this book. I didn't end up getting to read it yesterday, so we're gonna do that today. I have my people colors out because I have this little iPhone selfie page. This is a freebie on TPT if you just search iPhone template, I think. Something like that, and it'll come up. So in front of our Avid binders, there's like a clear pouch. And so last year we had like the shape of a person, and then they got to draw themselves, but I thought this would be more fun / relevant to them. So they're gonna draw a selfie of themselves in here, and then we are gonna talk about what a good student is, and I'll show you that paper in a second. And so we're gonna brainstorm ideas about what a good student looks like, what it sounds like, what they do, what they don't do, and then they'll be able to write hashtags around the outside of the selfie of ways they can be a good student. Okay, so I have the wording a little wrong. It's a good student is, does, says, and is not. So I just have this chart that I'm gonna do with them, and I'm gonna have them come up as they think of things and write them in the different squares. And then there's a page that I'm gonna have printed out for them where they can copy it down at the same time, and then we'll put this in our Avid binder. And then this page, I believe it came from Lauren at Cursive and Crayons. It is a flexible seating reflection piece. So yesterday we went over all the rules. We talked about all the different spots that they have and the appropriate ways to use it. We talked about how they can make a choice, when they can make a choice. We talked about everything flexible seating. And so today I want them to be able to reflect on what it is. So it says, what is choice seating? Why do we have it? What is one way to use the tools appropriately? What should you do if a spot is not working for you? What does it mean to choose the spot where I work the best? What will happen if you do not take care of the supplies or choose the best spot? And then yesterday they had a chance to, oh, there's the page. I was like, I knew I printed it out. This is what happens when you make piles everywhere. Okay, so this is that same page that they're gonna use with that chart I just showed you. Anyways, on the back of the flexible seating reflection, there's a spot for them to write all the different seats that they've tried out, and then if they love it, like it, or don't like it, they'll circle one of those and then say why. So yesterday they got a chance to try a couple of the spots. They sat at one all day, and then as we did the room tour, they got to try different spots. So they've tried at least 2. Most of them have tried 3 by now. And today when they come in, they'll have a chance to try either a 3rd or a 4th, because they're gonna be sitting somewhere different today. And then I'm thinking of just having them put these in their Avid binder too, and then kind of reflect every day that we're doing the trading with the tape, so that every day when they come in, they're going to be somewhere different, and then they can reflect on if they like that spot, if it worked for them, why or why not. So that way they kind of start to understand where a good spot for them to sit would be, and maybe some of those places that aren't going to be good for them. If you saw my last week of school vlog, this is something that I had my students do last year. So I haven't even read these yet, but it's the advice for next year's class. So I meant to give these to my students yesterday, but it was just such a busy, crazy, chaotic day, as it always is. So I didn't get a chance to, but I think it'd be really funny for them to be able to read these from my students from last year, especially now that they've met some of them, because they came in and helped me yesterday and they're gonna come back today. So I'm gonna put these out for them this morning so that they can read those. And then I thought that this would be fun. It'd be a kind of easy little break and a time to get to color and just kind of like hang out and chit chat with their friends, because we have to remember, much like we want to chit chat with our coworkers and the people that we haven't seen for a couple months, they want to do the same thing. So I don't really mind if they talk during this time. I'm going to put on some Kids Bop music and just kind of be an easy part of the day. So it's just, I think this was a freebie, I want to say, as well. I can't remember, honestly. I'm sorry. If I can find it, I will link it. No promises though, because it's been a crazy week. So this is just another one of those iPhone templates, and they can put a picture of what they did, where they went, people they saw, and then favorite food that they ate. That's pretty much it. This is going to be a time filler if I need it. I don't think I'll need it today, but I might need it tomorrow. My coworker gave me these. There's a couple different templates. This one says, I can, I will, end of story. If it doesn't challenge you, then it doesn't change you. You're much stronger than you think. You can't have a positive life and a negative mind. And that's it. So just some positive quotes for them to color. And this will take a long time. So the reason why I might need a filler is because we are going to be doing our reading assessments today. We have one of our TOSAs, our teachers on special assignment, coming in to help us do like all of our dibbles and some of the phonics screeners. So there might be a point where I need to have them doing something that I can work with students one-on-one on. So when that happens, these will get done. I'm trying to think of what else we have going on today. So this is what my planner looks like. We have this template every week and we make a copy of it as a grade level, and then we just make changes to it based on what we have going on that week. So the first week of school is like everything's pretty much on Monday, and then we'll just highlight when we finish it. That way we know what we still need to do. And then just the way my brain works, when I think of something, I just like write it on the side, because if I don't, I will forget. And yesterday I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of things to do. And I realized I didn't do really anything that I wanted to do, but it went by really fast. So today I'm also planning on doing a library tour with my students. We're going to talk about what book chats are. I'm going to assign them class numbers. They're going to do that reflection piece for flexible seating. We only did the first 7 of the Essential 35, so we'll go over the next 7. And yeah, I think that will probably take up most of the day. Also, this is what my supply situation is looking like right now, because yesterday I was showing the kids what flexible seating was in the stage, and so I had to move all the bins. So I'm gonna get this tackled and put away right now. And then one other thing we're gonna do with the kids is sort their supplies. So most of them had their supplies yesterday, like their individual supplies, their crayons, colored pencils, scissors, things like that. So we will sort them into their bins and get their Avid binder set up. And if you watch my classroom setup vlog, I still have not found the other half of their binders. So I'm going to go hunt for those right now. That cabinet that was in the waxed hallway is now open, so I should be able to go get into that. And hopefully I can find those so we can set up our binders today. So I may not pick you guys back up until tomorrow morning. I might check in at the end of the day, but it's gonna definitely be too much for me to check in at recess and lunch because it's just such a crazy time and I also need to take a breath. So yeah, that's what we have going on today and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I just wanted to real quick share with you guys one other little thing that we did at the end of the day to kind of make it fun and end on a good note. So I got these little disco lights from Amazon. They just plug in and there's different settings and they are projected like all over the walls and the ceiling. So I just have the lights off. I just set them right there. In the last 5 minutes of school or so, I put on Kids Bop on Spotify and we just danced to the song Happy. And it was just a really fun way to end the day. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it just was really fun and it's easy. And those lights are, I think, like 17 or 18 bucks when I bought them at least. I will link them down below for you guys in case you want to grab them. But it's just a really quick, easy way to spice up the end of the day and make it a little bit more fun. Okay, one last thing to share with you guys today before I take off. This is a little bin that I have. I think I got the bin on either Amazon or Office Depot, I'm not sure. And then these labels are from Amy Grossbeck. These are definitely from Amazon, these little folders. They come in all different colors. And I leave this the same every year, obviously, because they don't have names on them. So it makes it really easy to just take out all of the stuff from what was in it before, throw it away, and then I can still use it without having to make new labels because one thing I hate doing at the beginning of the year is labeling all the stuff with the kids' names and then your list changes and it's just a pain. So I just have my student numbers and then I always make like a little class list with numbers and the kids have numbers for their mailbox, for the cubby system that we use, for a lot of different stuff. So this is something that I use to sort all of their, I'm going to cover the name of my school here on here. These back to school folders that I showed you guys in my back to school night video. So all the paperwork that's coming back with all of my student information on it, I have this sheet to kind of keep track for myself who has brought what back and then also what specific things each student has. So for example, I just put in the little gray boxes all the different things that I have inside of the folder. So, well, the first one's not true. That's just if they have a nickname. And then are they parents signed up for Remind 101? Did they fill out the Getting to Know Your Student? Do they want to volunteer? Did they sign the book chat letters? Did they sign the Essential 35 contract? Are they allowed to watch PG movies? And then anything else that they signed. This just makes it a whole lot easier for me so that one, when I'm going through all the paperwork, I can actually see like who I still need to get certain papers from. But then when I need them throughout the year, instead of having to go through this big old bin every time, I just tape that paper to the front of here and then I can just easily see who has what. So this just makes it a lot easier for me. I kind of have a love-hate relationship at the beginning of the year because there's so much paperwork, there's so much to do, there's so much to figure out about students. So this is one thing that just helps keep me organized. So in the actual boxes, obviously for the nickname one, if they have a nickname, I'll just write it. If not, I'll leave it blank. And then for most of them, I will just take a marker and I will just highlight the whole box. So for Remind, I'll highlight, this one I'll highlight, this one I'll highlight, this one I'll highlight, and then I'll write anything in this one. So that way I don't have like a bunch of words. I can easily just see, okay, there's color on that one, so that's a yes. So just a quick tip in case you were struggling with paperwork overload and wanted a quick system to make it easier for yourself. And also, I'm still trying to debate for next year if I want to use the same system or if I want to go paperless. I know that in these folders there's a lot of paper, but I feel like when things are all online, one, people don't read them, and two, it's hard for me to keep track of it. I'm like a hands-on kind of person, so that's why I do that instead of online. Hope that helps. I made it to Friday! So exhausted, but so happy and super excited for all the fun that's going to be had today. Today's a big day. The kids are going to be sorted into their houses, which if you don't follow me on Instagram or you're new here, think of the houses kind of like the Harry Potter house system. The kids are going to be sorted at random today into 4 different groups, which we call houses, and they're going to work together to earn points based on our classroom rules, working together, collaborating, all kinds of good things. And last year I did kind of like a fancy sort. I'll go over and show you. I have this wheel off Amazon, and right now it has house points written on it, but underneath there's another little circle sheet that I will try to show you that has the house names on it. so this is what it looks like. It has house points, and then I'll just kind of peel this back. So the back page has all the different houses on it with the shields. And the kids came up, and one by one, they would spin the wheel, and whatever house it landed on from underneath, that's what house they would be in. Once that house had 6 members, then I would say that house is full, and then if it landed on that house, they'd have to spin again. But it took forever. But that system kind of took a long time, and I feel like after like the first like 5 kids, they were pretty bored, and then after they found out their house, or once their house was full, they just wanted to kind of like hang out and talk to their house members, and like, yeah, it kind of just took too long for me. So this year I'm gonna do a very simplified version. I was planning on putting all the house names on a piece of paper, like each individual house name on one paper, and then putting that inside of a balloon with confetti, blowing it up, having them on the ceiling, having the kids pick a random balloon, and then popping it at the same time and finding out their house. But I did not have time for that. I'm exhausted, and I didn't have time for it. I didn't do it. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing instead, which is very easy. I just wrote all of the house names. Each one of these papers has one house written on it. I don't know if you guys can even see that. And then I just fold it up. The kids will come and just pick a random one, whatever house they get. That's what they'll have. So we'll do a drum roll, they'll open it all at the same time, and then that will be their house. So I think that'll be a lot better. It'll be a lot faster for sure. And then we're gonna do some activities in our houses. So I can see that my camera is gonna die right now, which I should have charged it. So I'm going to put you guys down, get everything set up, charge my camera, and then I will meet back up with you at recess to show you the fun team building stuff that we are gonna do today in our houses. Okay, I was just in the copy room making copies, obviously, and one of my teammates had a really good idea for sorting the kids in their houses, and it's gonna take a little bit more time and be probably a little bit more exciting and a little bit more interactive for the kids, so I'm gonna steal it. So what she's doing, since we have 4 houses and 4 corners of the room, she's gonna have the kids, she's not doing it this way, she's doing the balloon way, but every time I have a kid pick a card, I'm gonna have them do it one at a time, and whatever they open it to, I'm gonna have each corner of the room be designated for a different house. So once they do it, everyone will cheer, they'll go to that corner of the house, and that way whenever the next person picks that house, they'll be welcomed into like their new classroom family immediately. So I think that'll be a better way instead of having them open all the cards at the same time. That way it'll take a little bit more time, it'll be a little bit more special for each child, and it'll be kind of like a bigger deal. So that's what I'm gonna do instead. And then I was able to make copies of all of the STEM stuff that we're gonna do in our houses, so I'm gonna show you that too. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is called Help Save Fred. I just Googled this because one of my coworkers had the idea. So if you just Google Save Fred, the first one that pops up is like, I think it says like Purdue University or something. And this is just a free PDF that they have that you can download and print. So what you're gonna need is Lifesaver gummies and Lifesaver gummy worms, and then a cup. So basically what happens is you're gonna have a cup for each team. There's gonna be a gummy worm on top and then a Lifesaver gummy underneath inside on a table. And the team gets a paper clip, and they have to get Fred, which is the gummy worm, into the Lifesaver gummy, which is his floaty, without stabbing him. So basically it's like a little story, like his boat capsized, the boat is the cup, and he ended up on top, but his floaty is underneath and he doesn't know how to swim, so you have to help save him without stabbing him with the paper clip. Oh, I'm sorry, 4 paper clips. So each student will have a paper clip. So the problem is, how can you and your partners save Fred using only 4 paper clips? You may not touch Fred, the boat, or the life preserver directly with your hands. This is what the setup will look like. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of printed dark because it's black and white. These are all the directions for the students. You're gonna set up the challenge as shown in the picture. I love that it has a picture for them so they can set it up themselves. And then on the back, there is this flow chart of how they saved Fred, so they can draw a picture of how they helped save him, describing it, problems or challenges their group encountered, rating the difficulty, the enjoyment, and then some questions. So which problem have you encountered that was most difficult for your group, and what did you guys do, or how did you act to solve the problem? And then list one thing that you would do the same and one thing that you would change if you attempted this challenge again. So it's gonna force them to communicate and think on their feet and try to solve this problem, because it doesn't give them a whole lot of directions as far as how to actually get him off the top of the cup into the floaty. So I'm excited to see how they figure that out and work together. There's also a video on YouTube. I'm sure there's more of them, but if you just search on YouTube, Save Fred Gummy Worm, this video pops up and it has all the directions for the kids. So I'm gonna show this to them. It'll give me a chance to be quiet and stop talking at them and give them a chance to read and listen to something that is not me. And hopefully will help explain it a little better if they're not understanding from the paper. Okay, and then there's one more team building activity that I'm gonna do, but I found it on Instagram, so I'm gonna scroll to it. So this idea is from Dustin Ecker. If you don't follow him on Instagram, trust me, you just need to be. He's amazing. He does so many ideas for student engagement, and he's an awesome teacher, so you should go follow him. But he had this idea that he posted yesterday. So basically, the teacher, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me try to tap that. Hold on, someone just knocked on my door. I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this. If not, I will try to post a picture of what mine looks like. But basically, this is just like paper cups. So I have paper cups again, the same thing for the saving thread. And then there's pieces of paper in between them. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cups set up, and there's 3 rows, and then there's a piece of paper in between each row. So the teacher is going to set this up in the hallway or in a box or somewhere where the students cannot see it. So I'm thinking about just putting it outside of my ramp. I'm just gonna read you what he wrote on here so that I don't try to explain it and explain it wrong. So he said, borrowed this idea from a coworker for a team building activity today. Here's how it works. The teacher builds a tower in the hallway. That's what I just explained to you. Before beginning the activity and while explaining directions, continually state, remember throughout the activity that we are all a team. Explain that they'll work in groups of 4 and that each student will have 1 role and 1 role only. So, I have 6 kids in each house. That's okay. Maybe I'll do this not in their houses. We'll just do it as like a team building activity for like the whole class. So one person is going to be the looker. So that person can go look at the teacher's tower in the hallway and then report back to their group only exactly what they see and what their group needs. So they're the only person that can go out and actually see what the teacher built. The second role is the builder. So the only team member who is allowed to construct with the provided materials. So they're the only person that's going to be able to touch the cups and touch the paper. The third person is the speaker. That is the only team member who can move around to other groups to ask questions. And then there's a teacher speaker, the only team member who can ask the teacher a question. The end goal is that every team needs to build the tower that I constructed in the hallway. They'll be quick to announce how easy that will be until they see that it's going to be a challenge. They're going to have to communicate. They're going to have to work together. They're going to have to problem solve. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult than they think, I think. It says, the trick, you provide all teams with a bag of materials, but they'll soon realize that everyone's materials are mixed up. The exact number of cups and paper are available, but effective communication between team speakers must occur in order for every group to be able to obtain the materials they need. Plot twist. Ideally, students may realize that it's best for all groups to place their materials in a centralized location and grab only what they need, thus ensuring the success of every group. Though one group succeeded in building my tower today, our class, okay, so that's for his. So I'm excited to try this and see how it works for them. He has 4th graders in his class. I have 3rd graders, so a little bit of an age difference, but I'm excited to see them work together and communicate and collaborate and work together. And hopefully I have instilled in them the last 2 days that we're a classroom family and that we need to work together. And I'm sure some of them, just because human nature, they're gonna want their group to be the one to win. They're gonna want their group to be the one that gets it first or gets it right. And so, hopefully not, but if that does happen, that'll lead to a really good conversation about working together, and that when we all work together and contribute to our team family, that we all win together. And so I'm just excited. That will probably take up a pretty good chunk of the morning, doing the house system, sorting, and then the 2 STEM activities, although I might break it up so that we have 1 STEM activity in the morning and then another one like maybe after lunch when we're kind of all like, you know, falling asleep a little bit. But I do have a couple other things that we're gonna do today. We do need to go over some more of our Essential 35, and then we're gonna go back over our flexible seating rules, and then we're gonna fill out, let me grab it real quick. We're gonna fill out the rest of the flexible seating page that I showed you guys yesterday. I'm not gonna show you the other side. I showed it to you already yesterday, but my students already wrote on it because we did it yesterday. So today they're gonna have a chance to fill out which seats they've already tried, if they like it, love it, hate it, and why. So we're going to reflect a little bit on our choices for flexible seating. I'm going to read them the day you begin. We have an art project to do and possibly another math candy activity, but one of my students is allergic to food coloring, and her mom brought in some candy that she can use, but I haven't had a chance to go through it yet and separate it for her. So possibly. So I will pick you guys back up later and let you guys know how things went and show you the art project that we have going on and everything else for today. Okay, it is after school on Friday. My kids just left. I am exhausted, but so happy. I am obsessed with my class. I feel like I say that every year, but I just love them. I love them. So it's gonna be an awesome year. I'm really excited, but I'm so tired. I can't wait to go home and take a nap. But I wanted to just fill you guys in on a couple of the other things that we did today, and then kind of give you guys updates on how they went. So the first thing I want to give you guys an update on was the STEM project from, it wasn't really STEM, it was more kind of like team building, kind of like collaboration, from Dustin Ecker that I showed you guys earlier. So basically, I'll flip you guys around. So on my little desk over here, I had a cardboard box, and so I just built my little teacher tower. This is the same one that Dustin had, so it's just 4 cups on the bottom, a piece of paper, 4 cups, piece of paper, 4 cups. And so in little Ziploc baggies, I had different amounts of cups and papers, and I didn't have all the numbers that they needed. As a whole class, they had all the numbers that they needed, but the supplies were kind of mixed up, so they had to communicate with one another. So there's only one student who was allowed to come look, and then I put the numbers, or not the numbers, sorry, the names of the roles on the board. So there was one looker in each team. That was the only person who was allowed to go look in that box and then report back to their group what supplies they needed and what it looked like. Then there was a builder. That was the only person who was allowed to actually like put their hands on the materials and build. The speaker was the only person who could go ask other groups questions, which is the one that ended up needing to go ask for other supplies. And then the teacher speaker was the only person allowed to ask me a question. And then I just ended up writing on there what Dustin had written on his caption, which was, remember, we're all a team, because they kept asking like, are we allowed to go ask for help? Are we allowed to go ask other people if they have supplies? Are we allowed to go borrow stuff? And so, yeah, it was really fun. It ended up a little different from what Dustin had written in his caption. So they didn't end up like compiling all of their supplies like I thought they would from what he had said. They just kind of like mixed and matched and traded and helped each other out as needed. So it was fun though. And then the art project that we did, let me flip you guys around again. Okay, so you may have seen this on like Pinterest or Instagram or something, but basically these templates, I believe we just Googled like a blank head template, which looks super creepy on its own, but the kids draw their head, everything but the eyes, because they are gonna have these sunglasses, and in the sunglasses they're gonna write whatever you want them to. I had them write about what they did over the summer, but if they ran out of things to talk about, then they could tell me what they were excited about for 3rd grade. They can color around the outside of the glasses, cut them out, and then they'll glue them onto the head. And then we were gonna glue these onto yellow and orange paper to put up on the wall, but we completely ran out of time. Totally underestimated how long it was gonna take to do that. But this was not a super artsy project, but they got to cut and color, so they thought it was fun. I also wanted to give you guys a little update on the sorting of the houses. It was so much fun. So I would randomly, I pulled a stick, so I have little popsicle sticks with their numbers on it, and so they'd do the drum roll on their desk, and then I'd pull a stick, and then they would chant that person's name. So if it was me, they'd be like, Miss Romeo, Miss Romeo, Miss Romeo, on their way up to go see me. And then I would shake the bucket with all of the little cards in it with the houses on it. They'd pull one, and they would all be chanting their name as they're opening. And then I have a little microphone, like a little one from Amazon, and so they'd say their name into the microphone, not their name, but the house name that they got. And then they would go over to the corner, and the houses were so cute about cheering for each other and welcoming each other, and they were all like excited that they got each other, and it was really cute. I'm really excited. And so that was fun. And then I wanted to share with you guys one last thing, and that is different procedures that I teach the first week. So this is a super not Instagram worthy like list or anything, but I just want to share with you guys like how I make sure to check off all those little things in my brain that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to teach them this. Oh yeah, I need to teach them how to do that and the procedure for this. So for the last time, I'm gonna flip you guys around and show you that. Started this list at like, I want to say 11 o'clock at night one night, when I was like, I need to tell them how to use the bathroom and what to do with their water bottles and how to line up and where the turn-in bin is and what I want them to do to get my attention and all those little things that were like, I know I need to tell them that, but it's different from class to class, and I'm gonna forget if I don't have it written down. So if you want to make a list, here are some things that I was thinking needed to be taught, and we didn't even get to all of them because some things we haven't gotten to yet, like book chats, how to pick a book, homework folders, agendas, things like that. But some things definitely needed to be talked about from the very first day, like you need to raise your hand. You can't just come up to me and start talking because then it'll get chaotic. You know, what to do if you need to use the bathroom, all that kind of good stuff. So this was really helpful. I liked having it on my table so that I could just check it off as I did it, and that way I wasn't like, oh man, which one did I do and which one did I not do? So I would really suggest having something like this. I got this idea from Miss V3 on Instagram, where she had like a big old chart and she did it and she was checking things off. So definitely necessary for the first week of school, even if you just throw in little things here and there. I know a lot of us like it to be fun, and I definitely agree that procedures need to be taught and rules need to be taught, and it can still be fun, but there's definitely some things that need to be taught right from the get-go. So definitely would suggest doing something like this so that your first week back is a little less chaotic and you can remember what you've already taught. Something else that's really important for me to start at the very beginning of the year is building each other up and celebrating each other. So I don't want to be the only one that's like saying, hey, that was awesome, good job. Like, I want my students to recognize and understand when to cheer for each other and how to cheer for each other, and that that's important, and that we're a family, so we're gonna do that for each other. And so I like to start the year too by teaching them some little chants and cheers to help them kind of get started with building each other up. So first and foremost, anytime I say to a student like, hey, Johnny, good job, that was awesome, then my students should also do the same thing. So if I say, Johnny, that was awesome, good job, then my students say, good job, Johnny, and they all cheer for him. And so it's so funny to watch that the first week of school, because I'm used to that now, and my kids were used to that at the end of last year. And to see brand new kids come in and not be used to that and then be like, and just be like sitting there just like beaming the whole time is so adorable and powerful, and like it's just really cool. But besides just saying things like good job, that was awesome, we have specific ones. So I'm gonna set this down to show you guys. These are not like, I'm stuck. So these are not like definitely anything that I created or made up or like revolutionary, but just if you were looking for something for how to like teach your class to give someone a celebration, here are a couple ideas. So these are the ones that I talk to my students. So there's a whoop whoop, it's really easy. So you just go whoop whoop. Then there is the disco. So you put your hands on your hip and you'd be like, that's the way, we like it, You do it again and then you go, yeah, at the person who got something awesome. And then there's the roller coaster. So you take your hands and you go woo, 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 at the person who is getting it. And then if someone got a house point, we did one that's called rolling like a big shot. I know I stole this from someone on Instagram like 2 or 3 years ago, but I can't remember where I got it. So if this is yours, thank you, and I will definitely give you credit in the description box, but I have no idea whose idea this was. So this one is probably their favorite, and they get all excited about it every year no matter what. So you would take your hands at the person who is getting it or the team who's getting it, and you go rolling like a big shot, show them what you know, and you're about to hit the jackpot. And then they get to go up and spin the wheel. So I will actually take you over there and show you what the wheel is right now so you guys can see what that is. And I'm gonna do a whole video on the house system and house points and how I do that, but not right now because I'm too tired. So anytime that a house gets house points, I have this wheel, we do the little rolling like a big shot, and then they can come up and spin it, and whatever it lands on is the one that they get. And I just wrote on this with Expo marker, so I need to fix that because that is from last year. But they always think it's really fun and they get really excited because it kind of sounds like a song, and it sounds really cool when they're all doing it together. Alright guys, that wraps up my first week of school. We only have 3 days of school this week, so I don't know if you guys have like a longer amount, but we're actually starting with math and ELA curriculum on Monday. So it's going to be a lot less like, you know, random fun stuff and a lot more curriculum. So I will be sharing definitely more about that, but first I need to go home and sleep and recover from this exhaustion of the first week of school because I am so tired. I always forget how exhausting the first week is. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's just so much to be done. And you forget too because like for third grade teachers, like, and this is true for any grade, but they leave as third graders, and they actually leave as fourth graders because they're like brand new fourth graders, right? They're so mature and they know what to do and they have everything down, and then they come in as like second graders, and you're like, they're so little, and like they don't even, like, they don't know how to do anything in this class. Like, not that they can't do it, but like they don't know what my expectations are, and of course they don't, but it's just like, oh, I had these other people trained and like they knew what to do, and it just was like a well-oiled machine, and now it's like chaos, and it just, yeah, it's exhausting. So I hope you guys were able to get some good ideas for your first week of school. It was so much fun, and I'm gonna go take a nap. So I will see you guys soon for another video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.